Namaste, and welcome to your weekly wellness tune-ups on the Awaken Living with Nibodhi podcast. This week, I want to discuss the subtle shifts in our spiritual practice that we may or may not be experiencing. In our spiritual practice, growth is often described as the gradual movement from tamas, that inertia and dullness of the mind, towards rajas, which is the activity and change, and ultimately towards the sattvic state, which is the clarity and harmony and wisdom of our own being. And when we do spiritual practice, when we're in a practice, a lot of times we don't feel anything happening on the surface, and that's totally okay. What we need to understand is that our inner field is reorganizing. We have to trust that process. And this is what the ancient rishis, yoga practices told us, is that it's subtle and slowly and gradual. And we may not experience it all at once. The subtle impressions in the mind, called samskaras, and our nervous system, when we do these practice, they're slowly softened and reshaped and repatterned. And we don't notice it all at once. This process happens on the level of the subconscious or the unconscious. Rarely do we feel a dramatic shift in the moment. Maybe we feel a little bit peace at the end of our practice, but we're not noticing these dramatic shifts that we might experience in a experience of instant enlightenment, awakening, satori, or something like this. It's only later that we really notice a new response to life. We stop reacting so much and we start responding. And in challenging situations, we do start to experience a sense of ease, a subtle shift in our perception where we're seeing the situation as not entirely bad or not difficult, but more as an opportunity for growth. And even from the Ayurvedic perspective, it tells us that every practice we do, whether it's pranayama or chanting of mantras or the yoga practice or massage or even our intimacy with our beloved partners, these things directly influence our prana, which is the life force, and the inner radiance we call Tejas, and our overall vitality, our overall vital essence known as Ojas. So whatever practice we do, it's directly influencing these three major parts of life: prana, Tejas, and Ojas. And even when we're not consciously perceiving it, our doshas, the physical constitution, is also being recalibrated, and the tissues, the dhatus, are receiving this subtle nourishment from that pranic field, from that universal life force that's in everything, everywhere, all the time. And really, a lot of the times, these shifts are so subtle and so refined that our gross senses are not capable of detecting them, at least not in the beginning. Like, take digestion, for example. That transformation of food into nourishment is happening invisibly. We don't feel our body's making protease or amylase or cellulase or lipase enzyme. We don't feel the whole digestion process happening. We're not aware of the millions of processes going on to digest our food. But just because we can't feel the food turning into our blood and muscle and bone and reproductive system and mind, or even the vitality, it doesn't mean it's not happening. Of course it's happening. We're just not aware of it. There's millions of processes happening in our body all the time that we're not aware of. Tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of neurosynapses happening all the time that we're not aware of. What we need to do is really acknowledge the truth that not feeling anything in the moment sometimes brings doubt, and it brings judgment, and it brings self-criticism, but we need to overcome that. We need to not collapse into the thought that nothing is happening and give up on the path. What it means more than anything is it's basically just an invitation to notice what arises, whether it's unease or restlessness or impatience. We just need to stay with it. We need to gently stay with it without judging where we think we should be or how we think we should be, just being with what is. And when we can have this non-judgmental witness consciousness, that itself is a profound act of healing, because it's cultivating safety in ourselves. It's cultivating courage in ourselves and determination. And that courage and determination and safety is fundamental for dissolving these old defense mechanisms that keep us from the self. And it allows the deeper layers of the psyche to unfold in their own time. And a lot of the time, when we start meditating, start doing the spiritual practices, old stuff will come up. Negative thoughts, negative emotions will come up for clearing. So we need to stay present with ourselves. We need to stay compassionate and loving with ourselves and realize that these subtle shifts are happening. And whether it feels natural or not, whether it feels like something is happening or not, trusting that growth is happening, trusting that our body is listening and that our nervous system is rewiring and our emotional and erotic intelligence is softening into authenticity and our spirit is remembering its wholeness. It's a lifelong journey. These are subtle shifts. And it's like the hidden root growth beneath the soil before the sprout appears. The seed has to crack, which may not be gentle. It opens, it's in darkness, it has to find the sunlight and the rain, and then it grows and makes beautiful fruits for everyone to eat. So this week, trust in your process, trust in the silence, trust in the unseen work of your soul's inner intelligence, and keep practicing no matter what. Thank you for joining me. Until next week, fill your heart with love, express it in everything you do, and keep going. Before you go, if you've been curious about Ayurveda and want to actually understand your body and start applying it into your daily life, I built the complete Ayurveda course for exactly that. It contains more than 30 years of education and practice distilled into 50 lessons, with over 10 hours of content, guided meditations, personalized assessments, and so much more. It's designed so you'll feel real shifts as you go through it. You'll experience more energy, better digestion, increased mental clarity, and a deeper sense of balance. Lesson by lesson, it's all there. So go to nibodhi.com/courses to learn more.